right. So moving on to the creation watch for today. So we are going to be talking about Our Lady Fatima and the Miracle of the Sun. Who is familiar with that? It's a Catholic tradition, I guess you would say. But the story goes that 1917 in Portugal, in Fatima, that there were 3 shepherd children that sighted and saw the Virgin Mary herself. Goodness. There, I can read that a little bit better. I have some notes over here that I'm keeping. Now they she would appear to these 3 little kids and make claims that they're going to be miracles and such. The word got around through local newspapers and people kind of really were taken by these visions these kids were having regarding the Virgin Mary making predictions. And she did make a prediction that on October 13th, so 5 days from now, but in 1917, which is why I wanted to cover this now, that there would be a miracle that everybody would be able to see over this field in Fatima. Okay, so there was this prediction that this little girl made. Of course, there were her 2 cousins with her as well, but for the most part, we want to focus on what the prediction said. So they did. It was kind of vague. So what people saw, people came on this pilgrimage because they were very devout. This is very Catholic area, very devout Catholic region. These are rural country people. The local newspaper reported on this. It piqued interest, and they they made pilgrimages, and at least thousands, if not tens of thousands. Some people claim it was upwards of 100,000 people made this pilgrimage to Portugal to see this amazing miracle that the Virgin Mary had predicted to these children. And I don't know what exactly happened. We'll get into it. But first, we just need to, I want to look into the characters a little bit here, the major players, because Lucia, the oldest of the children, and the other 2 were her cousins. And they both died of like influenza just a couple of years after this happened. So she's the only one that kind of came away from that and grew into adulthood. But she never recanted her visions, and she lived to be like in her 90s. So the thing is that not even her own mom believed her sightings. They did. This was not the first time that Lucia came in with stories of religious visions. The friar at her local parish did advise that she had religious delusions before this. So seeing the Virgin Mary was just the latest in a string of sightings that this child reported. The other ones including angels and stuff, making different claims. Now, of course, someone who is devout enough can believe that, yes, all her religious visions were true. She did see angels. She did engage with the spirit of Mary, but I'm gonna doubt it until I see further evidence that because this isn't the only time a miracle of the sun has occurred. Hold on, can't even see. my coffee and I are here, and holy crap, we are doing Fatima. We are doing Fatima because I've had so many apologists, both Catholic and non-Catholic, come at me with Fatima as a legitimate miracle. And no, no, it's not legitimate. There's so many holes in this and we're going to look at them today. There's not. Now, first of all, you have all these people making these pilgrimages primed to experience a miracle, to experience the divine, their reverence for the mother of Jesus. They were so devout, so primed to have an experience when they got out to that field that day on October 13th in 1917. Now, again, the number of people making the pilgrimage is speculative. There are some great pictures of massive crowds of people gathered. I mean, look at the number of folks that are showing up for this event. Now, whether or not all these pictures are from Fatima, from the actual event, I cannot say. It's peculiar that the one where the folks have umbrellas and it's raining looks very different from the rest of these. And this one is the one that of all of them, that I would say is the most chance of being authentic, because if we look at the weather reports and things from that day, it was cloudy and rainy and stormy. Just not a beautiful day. And these people don't seem to be necessarily dressed for getting downpoured on. They seem more. They almost seem like they're posing, especially the fact that, I don't know, is that the same woman there with the cane? Almost like they had a group of people to stand and pose for this. Oh, that's for the end of the show. So, what was the miracle of the sun? That is the question, right? What exactly did these people see? So they get there, and at the appointed hour, and like I said, it was stormy and rainy and gross. Not a gorgeous day. And suddenly the sun broke through the clouds and something happened. What happened? What did the sun do? What? Because no one seems to know. No one can give a straight answer. Did it spin? Did it bounce around? Did it change colors? Because everyone who reported the event sort of said something different. But the closest that we can get is that the sun turned into a spinning wheel of color. Now, there are several astronomical phenomena that can cause such reactions from the sun. Simply having a rainbow with they keep that is continuously broken, a sundog, things like that. All these different astronomical phenomena that can cause the sun's rays to bend and to split into different colors. There are a lot of factors that could come into play, especially considering the conditions where it has been stormy and rainy, and then the sun is coming out. Obviously, that's prime conditions for things like a rainbow or double rainbow, with the sun being broken up and the rays fractaling into different directions and maybe causing some sparkling effects. A lot of things could have happened, but you have these people with their primed brains, ready to have an experience as predicted by the Virgin Mary to this little child. And they said they gather again at the appointed hour, and the sun breaks through. This visual phenomena that no one can agree on happens, and we have the miracle of the sun. This happens. This isn't the first time or the only time that such a claim has come forward. This is just the most famous. There's been other people presenting things as miracles of the sun. Even there's even some videos at it. Let me see. Did I save that one? Somebody recently did one. I think maybe. Yeah, here we go. Let me pull that over into. So this is the kind of stuff that people present when they say that they're experiencing the miracle of the sun. I'm not interested in mystic.
This unforgettable video of a great sun miracle taken near Apparition Hill was recently posted on Facebook. This is a vision of Jesus, says the videographer.
So this is her claiming she has a miracle of the sun because so I think that the ISO setting on her camera causing this. Because I'm assuming that it's the growing and shrinking as she moves her camera back and forth of the light. What does this have to do with Jesus? Right, it's the movement of the camera that's causing it. You can kind of see that. Sky trumpet video. We'll look it up. We'll look it up here in a second. Let's wrap up this Lady Fatima stuff though, because we have a little bit more to go over. But this is the type of phenomena that people talk about when they say miracle of the sun, and I just don't find anything specifically anything particularly compelling about that. Definitely feel free to disagree with me though. If you think that any of these videos on the miracle of the sun are legit or that there's actually something happening there, let me know because I am not convinced by this. I maybe that's because my first endeavor into it, I discovered, and go watch it if you haven't watched it. Skeptoid did a great breakdown of the events and what happened. So there is not too much more to say about it, really. Again, I my first exposure to really, I mean, I'd heard of it before, but I never really looked into it. Was via the Skeptoid podcast about it. So I got it debunked as soon as it was presented to me, essentially. And when I still hear people presenting it as a authentic miracle, I just don't know. I just don't know. But yeah, I think that since that was a little bit short, again, it's not, there's not much to say about Fatima. It was some kind of astronomical phenomenon. Maybe there was nothing at all, but just the sun breaking through that gave people the pause to say, "Hey, this is something miraculous happening." It could be, but I don't. I don't feel that there's enough evidence and enough compelling evidence for the event to actually even be considered legitimate. There's been numerous people, including Catholic priests, um, who have investigated this phenomena and investigated this particular sighting, and they've come away with inconclusive because of the varied reporting on the phenomena. It was inconsistent at best as to what people were seeing and what was happening, and that kind of goes hand in hand with the priming your brain. So when the sun breaks through the clouds, you're looking for anything and everything. That is this. Here's the sign. Here's what Mary predicted. Whatever it is what it is, and people went with it and people rolled with it, and that's how this stuff kind of happens.